Guys, this is so funny and bizarre. Look at that. That is the Bud Light. That is every single Bud Light stand here at Fenway Park in Boston. Right? We're at the Red Sox game. That's what the Bud Light stands for. Crap. They're in trouble.
Let me try with pleasured hands.
Oh crap, they're in trouble. I love it.
Promised lands to show you everyone. It's the time of the season.
All right. They're in trouble. Bring it on over, man. Bring it on over. We are live. Come on in, one and all. It is Live Stream Friday. I am your host, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you've already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We're live on both Rumble and YouTube, so a huge welcome to our brand new Rumble audience. God bless each and every one of you. Super chats are up. Super stickers are up. Send me your questions. I will answer them in due course. What can I say? I mean, seriously, what do you say to this great? We should all be smoking cigars or our Gandalf pipes and drinking mead and eating meat and celebrating the fruits of our victory. It was an absolute slaughter when all is said and done. Bud Light has been subject to what many, I think, are rightly calling the single most brutal, successful boycott in consumer history. And they're crying uncle. They're admitting it. The executives over at Bud Light are admitting to it. Their investors. This was a huge L for them. This was a massive defeat. So we've got that. And we got more than that. We got a Soros-backed DA, another one getting kicked out. She's gone. You're going to love this. And we've got Fox News. If you thought things couldn't get worse for Fox News, you ready for this? They might get banned in Canada. I kid you not. This is being widely reported. We're going to talk about that, all that and more on this live stream Friday. Again, super chats are up. Send me your questions. But before we dive in here, gang, make sure to click on that link below and visit our good friends over at Home Title Lock. Gang, I got to admit, I was shocked when I was shown by the execs over at Home Title Lock just how easy it is to access the deed to my house. And not just access it, but change it. So if you don't know, the deed to your home is the only document that proves you own it. But the problem is that the deeds to all of our homes are now online, and they're mostly these, dinky county websites that are easy to hack. And so what criminals do is they find your deed, they forge your signature, they refile as the new owner of your home. They take out tons of loans using your home's equity, and then they stick you with all the debt, and you don't find out about it until months later when the collection agencies come after you. And don't expect homeowners insurance to bail you out, because it doesn't. But that's where our good friends over at Home Title Lock come in. Gang, they're amazing. Home Title Lock gives you the peace of mind that the deed to your home is absolutely and completely protected. Click on that link below right now and use promo code TurleyTalks. And all you got to do is enter your address in for a no obligation home title scan to see if you've already been a victim of deed theft. It's $100 value, absolutely totally free with my promo code TurleyTalks. Gang, don't wait for the worst to happen only to regret that you didn't do something when you could have. Click on that link below right now and secure your home today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Well, they did it. We did it. We did it. The execs over at Bud Light are crying uncle from our mass boycott. The Daily Mail is reporting that in a first quarter meeting call with investors, Anheuser-Busch CEO Michel Doukeris, in their words, unceremoniously disowned the disastrous Dylan Mulvaney stunt, insisting it was not a campaign. It was not an official ad campaign approved from the top. This is what he was trying to calm investors with. We did not approve this. And besides that, it was one can. He's referring to the Bud Light can bearing Mulvaney's face. It was just one can, guys. It was never meant for mass production. It was one incident. It was not a formal ad campaign. For heaven's sakes, we even farmed it out. We didn't even have our own internal ad campaign, put it together. We farmed it out, and we're putting a decisive stop to it. It's done. It's over. It was a mistake. Now, as you all know, this panic is coming from reports that Bud Light sales have absolutely imploded. According to Barron's, Bud Light's off-premise sales volume. So off-premise sales is the amount of beer sold outside of restaurants and bars. It was down an unprecedented 26% from this time last year. These are figures from the week ending of April 22nd, and they were getting worse and worse every subsequent week in April. So we can only imagine what the latest figures are. I have not seen those as of yet. But we've got video of store aisles throughout the nation all showing the exact same thing. Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch products are left untouched. They're stacked to the top, right? All the while their competitors like Coors or Miller Lite, they're all sold out. So beer experts are just frankly floored by all of this. Beer Business Daily wrote this, quote, "The shocking deterioration of Bud Light market share continued to pace throughout the third week of April and actually somehow worsened. We've never seen such a dramatic shift in national share in such a short period of time." You heard that right. We've never seen this. This is why people are coming out and say this is the most effective boycott ever. Things are so bad that Bud Light is actually offering their distributors free beer to help offset the purchasing plunge. I kid you not. They're offering them free cases of beer to help offset the losses, the sales losses. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to help. I mean, given that no one's buying the beer in the first place, here, take more of what nobody wants, right? It's just going to take up more room with supply for which there's no demand. But it's all yet together, collectively, another indicator of the desperation of the company and learning the hard way one of the eternal laws of the universe. And we all know what it is, right? We could all say it together, right? Get woke, go broke, right? Again, what we're finding here is that our national economy is literally separating into two overall blocks. It's something very much akin to the old Cold War. If you remember back in the Cold War days, you had a Western bloc and you had an Eastern bloc, right? So you had the American sort of capitalist Western European bloc, and you had the Soviet communist Eastern bloc. And what we're beginning to see here is the emergence of two blocks, a blue state economy and a red state economy. And if you're a regular to this channel, and if not, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel. But if you're a regular, you know that this is the result of a dynamic known as consumer politics, right? Consumer politics involves customers intentionally buying from companies that promote and support their political and cultural values, all the while refusing to purchase from those companies that actively and openly oppose and offend those political and cultural values. So we've got two dynamics going on here. We got boycotts and we got boycotts, right? So boycotts are obviously the refusal to buy from companies that offend our values, but boycotts, that's key. That's the intentional purchases from companies. I mean, Coors is finding this out, right? Miller Lite is finding this out. People are now going to start purchasing from them more and more because they're seen as either neutral to or actively supporting our cultural values. It's not enough just to boycott, you got to build, right? That's where the parallel economy is coming from. We are seeing red states, in effect, turning into a full-blown parallel economy, an economy where all things woke is basically cast out. It's so fascinating. It's very comparable to what Biden did with Russia after the Ukraine invasion. He did everything he possibly could to try to isolate Russia, But in the end, as the stats are now coming out, 90% of the world's population is not participating in the massive sanctions and boycott of Russia. And point of fact, Russia's economy is doing better now than it was before the invasion, before the end of February of 2022. And so the irony is we're seeing de-dollarization excel. We're seeing the bank failures explode. We're seeing Biden's phone calls not even being returned by China. We're seeing the OPEC nations ignoring the pleas of Biden to increase their oil supply. They're actually slightly decreasing it, and they're aligning themselves more with Russia and China, joining BRICS, joining the SCO. So the question a lot of people are asking is, in their attempt at applying woke cancel culture to a nation to try to isolate Russia, is it not the case that all the United States under Biden ended up doing is isolating itself? We're the ones getting isolated from the rest of the world as it returns to nation culture, custom, and tradition. The irony is in pushing all of this woke cancel culture, it looks like blue state economy is actually canceling itself. And that's the irony of what we're seeing here, I think, with Bud Light. And so what's so astonishing to me is that the CEO, or even that ridiculous advertising executive responsible for this disastrous campaign, who is now on a leave of absence. I think she's gone permanently. She's been replaced, obviously so. But it's astonishing to me that any of them could be in charge of this multi-billion-dollar company and not have the slightest clue about the advent of consumer politics and the dynamics surrounding it. It's crazy to me. In other words, they don't realize, astonishingly, that in trying to expand your customer base, which is great, by all means, more power to you, but in trying to expand your customer base, you don't offend the values of your loyal customers. You certainly can try to extend beyond your current customer base, but you can't offend the values of that current customer base without obviously losing a significant portion of them to your competitor brands. And that's exactly what Bud Light did, to the tune of nearly 30%. They thought they could be hip and cool, in accordance with the latest absurd woke trends that nobody even buys, nobody even wants. Remember, the reason why wokeness destroys everything it touches, right? It turns as in the King James version of Trump saying, everything woke turns to dung, right? We're still with Gandalf smoking off victory pipes, enjoying the incense of triumph. But without what they don't seem to understand is that, where was I going? Oh, never mind. I lost my thought. I'm doing it again. I did this 2 weeks ago. I had that wonderful thought and then I lost it, but I brought it back. But anyway, you cannot at the same time offend the values of your current customer base while trying to expand expand that base. Boy, did I blow that. I'm with Gandalf. I don't know what Gandalf and I are smoking. That's what I don't know. I don't know. Smoking the own ganja. So I have to say, I think the CEO at the investors meeting still seems to think that Anheuser-Busch is going to get through this, right? They're like doubling down. They're tripling their ad spends for the summer. I don't know if you heard about that. And I'm sure all the ads are going to be, the most pandering, right? They're going to go overdrive into this conservative, patriot, Americana, truck driving, rodeo going, drinker, right? But consumers and the rising dynamics of consumer politics, they don't easily forget this stuff. So, of course, time will tell. We'll have to see. But I've got a sense that Bud Light may have been permanently consigned to the Eastern Bloc, the Eastern Economic Bloc, as it were, the realm of the blue state economy that is shrinking increasingly. And the irony for them, too, is as they grovel back to the red state consumer, What do you think blue state consumers are going to do with that? Well, we're already seeing it. Blue state consumers don't want anything to do with them. So what they've done is they've managed to offend both red state and blue state consumers. It's I mean, I don't even know what to say to this kind of incompetence, right? In trying to grovel back to the red state consumer and going super Americana, super populist. Now they're alienating the cosmopolitan blue state consumer who hates America, who hates everything to do with the ideals of faith, family, and freedom. So they're making everybody upset. So not good, to say the least. All right, so we've got something else that's not so good, and that's Fox News. Wait until you hear about the latest headache. It's going to absolutely blow you away. But first, gang, have you seen that Twitter thread, Died Suddenly, or the new movie by the same name? It really is just heartbreaking to see the rise of sudden stroke deaths. And now strokes are on the rise. And obviously, we're all very concerned about this. So I want to introduce you to something that I'm doing to protect myself and my family. My friends over at Lifeline Screening are helping me detect my risk of having a stroke. And I encourage you to take a look below to get checked out too. It's so vitally important that you stay healthy in this battle. Our family and country need you to be at your best. It doesn't hurt to get screened today to confirm you're healthy, and the peace of mind of early detection it brings, it's priceless. So protect your legacy today and ensure you're healthy by visiting Lifeline Screening at the link below. All right, gang. So we, as you know, we are live exclusively often on Rumble. And I'm gonna take this Fox News piece and I'm gonna use that as the basis to pivot over to Rumble. So all you got to do is just click on that link below and visit us over on Rumble, because we're gonna go there exclusively right now. All right, gang. We now